Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division postseason right here on Sports Gamer. My name is Doogie, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Mr. Sin, for the win. And today we continue on with our semi-final matchups here. Games 3 and 4, Sin, for both of these series after a 1-1 split yesterday in both of these contests.
Yeah, SAWO opened things up by getting a big win against Frölunda. And then that second game was a battle up into the finish, a 1-0 overtime win for Frölunda, about as close as it gets here. I mean, that's kind of how these semifinal matchups has gone. We had, a split between the two series, and well, here we are, kind of best case scenario.
Again, it was a very interesting start to both of these series. As you mentioned, Goons with a big win in game one, only for H-Reds to battle back in game two, and two incredibly close matchups between SAWO and Frölunda to kick things off as well. Again, we are down to our final four stage. We are guaranteed action on Wednesday to finish out these series. It's just a matter of what will the situation be. Will we have 3-1s? Will we have 2-2 splits across the board? We are going to decide that today. So a big day for all four involved to try and take that lead. But then it certainly wouldn't be surprising to see us right back in a deadlocked setup here with both of these series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially with the way that series between these two teams coming up, SAWO and Frölunda had gone. I mean, it was incredibly tight, but in those tight contests, you kind of want more. You expect it to maybe go 2-2, but with how tight those are, if that game comes down to, as we've seen in overtime, a bounce can dictate it. So really, yeah, as far as the series goes, you could see a 2-2 or a 3-1, and these teams would still be kind of deadlocked in my mind here. So that's going to be really interesting. The kind of wild card is how Goons is going to do in this second matchup against H-Reds. People could argue, they took them unawares in that first one, a 4-0 win. Who knows? It seems like Goons played, pretty well, but that response from H-Reds was absolutely massive. So I really like to see how that performance carries over into the second day here.
A reminder of the playoff format here and what these teams are playing for. Again, the ECL 22 season structured as a split season format rather than just going season 13, 14, 15, etc. ECL 22 encompassing two different seasons, our winter and spring, with the idea being that the champion from both seasons meet in our grand final. However, H-Reds have a different plan in mind. They were the winner of our winter season. If they win the spring season, there is no grand final. They get that 10K euro prize without having to play another game. If a different member of the Final Four wins this spring season, they will play H-Reds in the grand final. Of course, all of this is leading up to just a little bit over a week from now. How insane is that? Our spring season final on June 17th and 18th, live from Helsinki, in a wonderful LAN event that Sin and I will be in attendance for, live and in person. Still absolutely absurd. We'll be covering that spring final, and if necessary, well, that grand final would be on Sunday, the 19th, in a one-day event, a one-day showdown for 10K. But as mentioned, if H-Reds win that spring season, well, Sin and I get that Sunday off to explore Finland. It's going to be pretty fun. Regardless, Sin, we're going to have a good day on that Sunday. Very much looking forward to it, but certainly wouldn't complain about getting to see that grand final take place.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, that's kind of what we've been hoping for, what everything has been leading up to, why we implemented this split season format. Of course, we've never had a back-to-back champion, and here are H-Reds looking to make that perhaps 3 in a row. But, there's a lot of teams that have something to say about this, particularly these two teams coming up in this next matchup.
Indeed, we mentioned H-Reds and Goons 3 and 4 will take place a little bit later on in this broadcast, but as you can see, the bottom of your screen, we kick things off with those third and fourth games between SAWO ESPORTS and Frölunda. Let's get you a look at the team stats here through the postseason thus far and how these two teams match up. And Sin, again, it was a struggle for SAWO defensively in round one at times that leads them to looking as shaky as they have defensively compared to Frölunda.
Yeah, and then it came to this series, and all of a sudden they tightened up an insane amount. But with that's kind of the SAWO play style. When they tighten up, they also don't score as much because, they kind of rely more on counterattack type stuff. That's why you see their goal differential being what it is, 15-4, 14 against, whereas, Frölunda 16-4, 7 against, a much better ratio. But in this matchup in particular, SAWO has found a way to kind of, box out Frölunda from that middle of the ice, in which case I think Frölunda is kind of being forced to maybe adjust in some ways, and they always have to be ready for that SAWO counterattack, which can be difficult to, as good as Loimu Patsoff are, we know they like to activate in SAWO. Their wingers, Yerska, Vatu, always looking for that and looking to exploit that on the counterattacks.
Both of these teams, championship aspirations, looking to make their way to that live final. Attendable, by the way, in downtown Helsinki, so we hope to see everybody there. It's going to be one hell of an event. One of these two teams will have the opportunity to be there. The question is, will one of them be able to win this championship? As you get a look at the lineups here, of course, it is the 12 that you would expect to see for SAWO, Yerska, Moja, and Vatu. Captain Tombo on defense with Teemu and Nike between the pipes. For Frölunda, Playmaker, Eki and Flyer Kungen. Patsalov, Loimo on defense, and Kape in goal. And of course, Sin, after yesterday's action, we certainly have to take another look before the action gets underway. Let's get a little recap in there from what you may have missed yesterday. We have that webcam view as well. I wonder how far a certain title is away from it. As Yerska scores! First shot of the game, first shot of the series, and the opening goal for SAWO Esports.
We've seen that a lot from SAWO. They kind of get into that sort of high slot area, just rip it on net, and it beats Kape on that glove side. Just that puck just seemingly had eyes. Wasn't necessarily bad positioning or anything, by
very sneaky in the way that they get to those soft spots. That shot is in! Playmaker gets a piece. We're tied at 1. It can happen that fast, as you might have to tilt your head a little bit to see what's going on with Flyer Kungen. Surprised, it looked like there might have been contact with the goaltender there. We've seen less contact result in called off goals. Would have been offside. Here's Vatu now. Head of steam. He's alone. He scores! Sin, it can happen that fast, as you see the reaction there. Vatu, team leading scorer with the golden helmet, makes it happen. 2-1 for SAWO.
And that was speed, just simply pure speed, and that comes down to good stamina management between he and Yerska, but especially obviously Vatu on that play.
By SAWO, but turned over. Ultimately, another opportunity. They had good patience till turnover Playmaker. And Flyer Kungen tried to bank it off the back, and he scores! Finds it through the traffic. Flyer Kungen ties this one up at 2 apiece. All business for Frölunda. It's a brand new game.
Yeah, you see some of the size of release and a smile coming out from Eki there as well.
Patience in the corner, tried to find Flyer Kungen in front. Moja takes it away for SAWO. Again, Teemu rushing up the ice. Yerska scores! With 8 minutes to go, SAWO regain the lead. Talk about size of relief. And a rare mistake from Kape.
Yeah, that's the entire team apparently to celebrate that goal. For SAWO right there, as Yerska just buries it. That's just a quick play right there. I'm trying to think, maybe he thought the puck was going to go further right there, but yeah, gave up that short side just a little bit, and a great defensive team. See what they can do.
Playmaker has it down low. 10 seconds now in front. Patsalov shot saved by Nike. Puck is cleared. SAWO Esports will take game 1 as a shot goes wide at the end. 3-2, your final score. And again, perhaps, the statement made here to kick off this series.
Absolutely, it has to be. SAWO, big win right there, starting the series off the way they want, 1-0.
Factor, if the opposition knows you're not really a threat to dump it in, you're not going to risk giving them that space. But right now, the way these two teams are playing, it's down to the first mistake, and there it was. Frölunda find the goal. Flyer Kungen, the hero, in overtime. Frölunda tied at 1 apiece.
Smiles and sighs of relief all around, as you see right there. They did not want to go down 2-0. Doesn't matter what your pedigree is. It doesn't matter how good you are. You go down 2-0 in a series, that could be danger. What a play right there. Playmaker feeds it across. You can see how far Nikke was trying to cover that short side, which exposed the far side. The pass made it through to Flyer Kunken, which it did, and he tucks that one home. A huge goal, a huge win for Frölunda. They even the series up at 1 game apiece in overtime.
So there you go, everybody. The action from yesterday's broadcast when it comes to this series. And Sin, again, we get a look here at the numbers so far in the center comparison. Eki still without a goal, but I do believe picked up 3 assists in the first 2 games of this series.
Absolutely. He was kind of a little bit of everywhere for his team, as you expect him to be, a game changer out there, still looking for that scoring sheet on the goal side of things, but expect him to get that for sure. And, Mosier still trying to work his way back into things and get onto the, contribution side a little bit more than he has been in these playoffs. And, he definitely wants to be able to keep up with the 2 wingers in Jurska and Vatu.
The winger comparison here next in this particular matchup, as we have Jurska and Vatu against Playmaker and Flyer Kungen. Sin, what stands out to you between these 4?
Really, for me, it's just how even they are across the board. I mean, you're looking at the numbers, there's very little discrepancy between them besides when it comes to the games played. Obviously, Playmaker has just been absolutely unreal. Over 2 points per game with 8 goals. But when you're thinking of big goals, you kind of are looking to Flyer Kungen on the other side. He got that game winner, got a big goal in the previous game as well. He's, a really big clutch factor that, obviously been around the block quite a lot, and he's helping out Frölunda. Really kind of trying to take that extra step once again.
A defensive comparison here as well for these 2 teams. Tambu, Teemu, Patzloff, and Loimu. Send good points across the board as well for all 4. We know they can get these points.
Absolutely. And I'm looking for, someone on that back end to kind of, take that step and really make an impact. And Teemu always seems to me like a guy who's on the cusp, ready to do that. He, leads the way in hits between all of these guys, doubling at the very minimum everyone else here. And, he's the guy, he's got a lot to kind of play for. Obviously, switching this team. He was on Frölunda last season. There's, that little extra competitive factor, I'm sure. And he's really kind of found another level since he joined SAWO.
And of course, last but not least, our goaltending matchup here in this head-to-head. Neither guy probably at the save percentage that they want, but the goals against average really kind of speaks to just how good these 2 teams are defensively.
Absolutely. And these 2 teams have really kind of played very similar games. There haven't been a ton of shots in this match. It's been a way less than when you look at the Goons and H-Reds kind of series. And that's a little bit by design between some of these teams, but a lot just, how the game has gone, when SAWO's locking down that middle of the ice and always have that threat of the counterattack. Frölunda maybe a little bit apprehensive to throw those pucks on net, fearing the shot blocks and the quick counterattacks coming out from Jurska and Vatu. So it's very tough for a goaltender to get locked in under those circumstances when you're not facing a ton of shots and maybe just the breakaways and the odd mans as we saw Kape have to face a couple times yesterday.
With that, everybody, we are just a few moments away from Game 3 in this series. Not too late to get your predictions in chat, by the way. Always interesting to see how that plays out, Sin. I mean, a lot of times yesterday we saw rather one-sided votes with the result going the other way. But we get a look here at the teams. Always interesting as well, Sin, to kind of get the reactions after the goals from these guys. And we saw some smiles and certainly the opposite at some points for both of these teams yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Smiles, sighs of reliefs, a little bit of just absolute focus here. And you're kind of getting a look at, some of the mentalities right there and seeing how they differ from one another and things like that. But, it's, we can get so much by looking at the cameras, but it's always kind of fun to speculate what is going on through their heads right now. You're in a 1-1 series. Some of them have been here before. When it comes to the side of SAWO, maybe less experience in this circumstance. However, we know that they are a very confident bunch of people. They love to have fun throughout all the regular season. We often see them bouncing on their opponents, whether it be friendly or chirping. That's just their kind of mentality here. Frölunda, maybe a bit more on the professional, been around the block side of things, but at the end of the day, you still got to, win these games. You have to apply that mentality in a way that works as a positive force for you and your team.
The experience edge on the side of Frölunda in this matchup here, but SAWO very much in it, took that big step this season, getting to that point where they can make the semifinals, show that, hey, we're not just a regular season team. Huge matchup here. They're still very much in it. Again, a 1-1 split at the end of the first two games in this best of 7. Game 3, though, about to begin. Of course, as always, the player builds and types basically as you would expect. The playmakers down the middle and a puck-moving defenseman everywhere else. Again, as we always talk about, possession is key in this division. Just the style that we often see here. Not too many people going against that. As we get a look at beautiful Joe Pavelski. Always puts a smile on Sin's face. I am
absolutely.
Well aware
a smile and then a broken heart at the same time. Yes.
There you go. So again, a reminder, this is what we have coming up right here, right now, and a little bit later on in this broadcast. Goons and H-Reds, the battle of 1 versus 5. H-Reds, again, looking to get back to, I do believe, their 4th straight final. It would be at this stage, which is absolutely unbelievable. We'll see that series a little bit later on in this broadcast. Again, games 3 and 4. Reminder, though, as always, the Wilhelm E-Hockey Tour continuing onwards. The Espo Stop this weekend, the final event of the current round. Sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need there, as always. But for now, the action is underway. It is game 3 here in our first semi-final round. SAWO Esports and Frölunda. SAWO nearly scored right off the hop. A big save early on by Kape. SAWO not looking like they're done. Good bit of offensive zone time to start. That one deflects and it's in! It'll be Moja, credited with the goal. May have deflected last off a defender. You see the hype level from the boys there. What a picture-perfect start.
Absolutely. This is exactly the kind of thing that they want. You think back to their matchup with Havli. They started off so strong, a 2-0 series lead. They couldn't carry that into the next day. They're searching for that consistency here. They didn't want to risk anything like that. No kind of pushback early on. They want to kind of take control. That's exactly what they did. 1-0 off a great bit of zone pressure. Just a shot from the point that gets deflected in.
An incredible first strike there. Opportunity down the other way for Eki. He misses just wide. Again, still looking for his first goal of the postseason. A good block there. What a way to start off this game. Moja going to get credit for just his second goal of the playoffs. Frölunda caught on the back foot, and this is what SAWO needs to do. Just play their game, and a great opportunity for Playmaker as well. Down the other way, Batu trying to hold on to it. So we talk about that a lot. Teams trying to adapt to their opposition strategy. I do feel like that's SAWO's best opportunity here. Just play your game and force Frölunda to keep up with your style as opposed to trying to, change things and perhaps overcommit to defending what Frölunda's going to throw at you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the best case. They love their speed. They love their quick transition counterattacks, and they can still defend the way they want to and do that. We know they like to collapse. That's often initially what you do off of those rush plays. So if they are able to get into a heavy collapse, keep out Frölunda, force that turnover or something like that and get their own counterattack going. I think if that game opens up, SAWO, you got to feel like they're at least on an even playing field with Frölunda, which is not an easy thing to do. But if it turns into that wide open action, I absolutely think that could be the case.
Puck dumped into that far side corner. SAWO able to retrieve and get going down the other way. Teemu, formerly of Frölunda, as recently as this past winter season. He was the big departure for Frölunda, but the big pickup for SAWO, short side bid there, forces the cover from Kape.
A lot of close calls here in this period on both sides of the ice, particularly, after that goal was scored for SAWO. Frölunda had a couple in-tight chances that they just missed on here, so could be seeing quite a bit go as that will not go down for icing. Play continues.
Got to keep the players on their toes,
Yeah.
Here we go. SAWO, again, that incredibly quick strike to kick off this game. That 1-0 lead here in game 3. 1-1 series split in this best of 7 semifinal. Winner will be in our spring season final again coming up in just a little bit over a week, June 17th and 18th. The two-day event live from Helsinki. The opportunity now perhaps for playmaker. Skates right over it, recovered by Eki though. Hotzloff back to him, now around the back of the net for playmaker. Wanted that short side bid for Eki. Great defense there though by Teemu. And we talked about it, Sinith. There's a defender who knows what Frölunda might look to do. It's going to be Teemu. Moja can't hold on to it. Scramble for the puck. Jurska comes up with it. Vatu shot taken to the chest, and Kape again forced to cover.
Wow, this SAWO team really kind of swarming here, doing a bit of everything here. The rush plays are working for them. They're able to hem Frölunda in just a little bit here. And Frölunda, not so often we see this, but they are reeling right now from some of the pressure being applied.
Spotzloff in possession, already under 4 minutes to play here in the first period. Puck sent around the back, and again, Teemu's there to retrieve for SAWO. Big stretch pass up for Jurska. Good job there by Potzloff to avoid the pressure. 2.5 to go in period number 1. Opportunity here perhaps for Flyer Kungan. Rockets went across. Jurska there to take it away. Loose puck. Potzloff shot blocked. Eki doesn't get the pickup. Sends SAWO down the other way, at least momentarily. That was a good job by the defense. Errant pass. Playmaker making the play. Down low in the corner. Now behind the net for Flyer Kungan. And muscled off the puck. Step up there. Doesn't quite work out. Final few moments here. One more chance perhaps. Good pickoff by SAWO. Flyer Kungan over the line. That shot paddled away. And a quick goal from SAWO to start the period. We'll see them carry that 1-0 lead into the seconds. And let's get another look at that goal.
Yeah, it looks really good. You know, just simple kind of hockey. They started off strong. Got a quick couple chances and then set up their cycle play. And you can see right there through all kinds of traffic and deflected in by Moja, just sort of trickled between the wickets of Kape right there as you get another look. Actually looked like it hit off his inner right thigh as well on its way to the back of the net. So close call indeed, maybe perhaps amplified even a bit by some of those counterattacks back the other way from Frölunda. A couple of them, they don't even count as registered shots because, you know, playmaker would have just fanned on one of them, or, you know, some of them were getting blocked and things like that. But that was a back and forth, hectic pace period at times, especially towards the middle of that. After that SAWO goal was scored, that game really opened up. And towards the end, when it started to kind of get more in control, it was SAWO kind of getting the better of at least the zone of possession at times. And, well, we saw there the better of the registered shots as well here. So it's on Frölunda right now to find that kind of response. They're looking for those backdoor passes across creases, but the defense from SAWO right now really is suffocating. They're just simply in the face. Every single puck battle has huge implications.
Second period underway. Again, the action, as always, brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Kovan Lakertsi, and ST Hockey. Here comes Jurska. Short side shot. Stopped by the glove of Kape. Another opportunity there, and a good pickoff by Potzloff. Stretch pass. Playmaker just couldn't get it. What a great opportunity. The puck will go all the way down. No icing. Looked like it last came off the stick of Playmaker, but regardless, we continue on. This one rocketed back down into their own zone. Flyer Kungan now for Frölunda. Bumped off. It's Tombu, the captain of the SAWO ESPORTS team, into the attacking zone. Puck again knocked loose. So many quick possession changes, hallmark of the series. Here's Playmaker across. Good poke check. As Tombu again recovered. Playmaker shot. Blocked. Rebound. Scores. Stanley's been the cleanup guy all series long. Flyer Kungan has another one to tie this up at 1 apiece.
And another massive, massive goal to tie up the game. You know, not only is he cleaning up that trash in front, but he's getting those goals when his team needs them the most. From that game winner in game 2, I think he had a game tire in that first one. And here he is once again tying this one up for Frölunda. Net front presence. Excellent job by Playmaker to delay a little bit, get that lane open up, let people spread out in the offensive zone. The shot got through, and as we saw, Flyer Kungan just in great position crossing in front of that net to sweep that one by Nikkei. And we have a tie game here in the second, and Frölunda's pushback coming on strong.
Not making the comparison due to size or stature, but I wonder if Flyer Kungan's a big fan of Always Sunny. Start calling him the trash man. It's a huge goal there. Ties this one up for Frölunda. 1 goal apiece now here in Game 3, and no surprise, both games a 1-goal difference to kick things off, including a 1-0 overtime winner, as Sin alluded towards, for Flyer Kungen in Game 2. Playmaker tried that cutback. Loimu gets absolutely floored, but still Frölunda in possession. Eki's shot, a save by Nike. We stay tied for now.
I like that coming out from Eki right there. Kind of an odd angle shot, not only to keep Nike on his toes, but they don't want to fall into the trap that they did a few times yesterday during those 2 games where they just couldn't penetrate the collapse of SAWO, and then they end up turning it over. They at least get a shot, a chance to reset. They lose that face-off there, but nonetheless, still a good play.
That one off the post on the rush. Another chance thrown in front. Potzloff able to take it away. Now it's playmaker across just beyond the glove of Nike. A good low cycle for Frölunda. Errant pass picked off, recovered. Eki's shot, glove down. Both teams in keeping up these opportunities.
And I really like to see, at times we were, slightly wondering when, or maybe even slightly critical, wondering when they'd start ripping some of these shots on net, besides, continuing to try the same things.
And a goal! Flyer Kungen has his 2nd of the game. And I think a look of surprise even on Eki's face from that one, but Frölunda, 2 goals in the period to snag the lead. The quick wraparound succeeds.
Absolutely. He had a guy right in front of him, a defender, and it looked like Nike did a good job of getting back for that, but he found the tiniest bit of space while avoiding a poke and avoiding a potential hit as well. Beautiful job. Flyer Kungen being a spark for this team right now.
Absolutely leading the way. That's what they picked him up for, the former Havu captain. See, the missing piece to put this team back over the edge to be able to reclaim a title from H-Reds. That was the hope. And so far in the playoffs, absolutely delivering both goals here in this period. Again, to grab the lead for Frölunda. Now with SAWO trailing, we'll see how they respond. Here's Vatu now on that right-hand side, down the ice, shot on, and a juicy rebound taken away by Frölunda. I'm trying to recall if SAWO trailed at all in Game 1. Certainly didn't trail in Game 2. It went to overtime in a goalless affair, so this might just be the first time they're trailing all season, and could certainly change the mindset. I'm going to try to look up that result from Game 1.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain, and my brain wants to say they just exchanged goals, I think, the entire time, just kind of back and forth in that first game, but I could be wrong. Perhaps, Frölunda did have a 2-1 lead, or maybe they scored the first one. I don't even know.
And we are correct. They never trailed in game number 1. It did go back and forth after they scored first and ended up winning 3-2. So first time trailing in this series. I mean, this is where you really get a look at the mentality, the strength in that regard for a team like SAWO. Vatu across, and how's that? For mental strength, Yerska gets the goal off of a fantastic pass, and we're tied at 2.
Absolutely unreal. Off the spinorama pass to create the space right there. It's exactly how you want to use that tool in your NHL arsenals, to create that passing lane by switching your body position as quickly as possible to avoid the defense right there. He did exactly that, and Yerska on the back door capitalizes. We're right back to dead even.
Yerska and Vatu striking again, as they so often have. One of the best dynamic duos we have. You can see why. Just absolutely disgusting pass to set up. It was basically a shot in an open net as we hit the final 40 seconds. Here comes Vatu one more time. Drops back, shot save, and it's in, but it's going to be waved off as it went off the body of Moja, and you see the reactions there. I don't think this one's going to be outright reviewed. I think it is just outright waved off. And a fortunate break. No, it's called a goal. Moja has his 2nd of the game. And SAWO grab a 3-2 lead with 23 seconds to go. Unbelievable turn of events. Sin, it was 1-0 SAWO at the end of the first. 2-1 for Frölunda, and now somehow 3-2 SAWO heading into the third period. Unbelievable.
Just incredible swings of momentum, and unfortunately that's not the one. Oh, that was the one to get a look at, but hard to see where it bounced off of the body. I guess they weren't looking for interference. I think they're looking for some kind of a kicking motion. I guess it just sort of went off his body. Hard to say about those ones. I feel like those ones oftentimes are not called back, but the goaltender interference ones oftentimes are called back. Just kind of depends on what they're looking for. Hard to tell as he was so close to the goaltender in that case, but at the end of the day, it counts. And SAWO, as quickly as they lost the lead and gave up a lead to Frölunda, they've gained it right back with a pair of quick goals. You can kind of see the shock and letdown on the faces of Frölunda right there. Just, you know, completely obviously not happy with that situation, perhaps even not happy with themselves here as SAWO continue to find ways to score goals when they need them, and really have done a great job throughout the entirety of the series of defending those high-quality areas from Frölunda, forcing them to have to get very creative. And, I mean, that's just a bounce that I'm sure SAWO's very happy about, and Frölunda wishes they could have back.
The very, very rare waved off, yet then approved goal after the review. What a pick off there by Vatu. Producer's saying he believes that's only the second one this season that he's seen. What a move here. Shot doesn't go. Great glove save by Kape to keep Frölunda within striking distance. Unbelievable game through 40 minutes. With a couple of lead changes, there's another goal. Regardless of who scores, it completely changes the dynamic that we have now. Here's Vatu, elects not to shoot. Penalty is called. SAWO will go to the power play if they need it. They're waiting to see the extra attacker perhaps come out. Nikke officially on the ice. Here he comes. Going to drive to the front of the net for that front presence, and they were looking for him, but that pass intercepted. Huge chance here for SAWO on the power play. It's interference against Flyer Kungen.
Yeah, this is absolutely enormous there. As you can see the slight bump. There's a few bumps there. I actually thought it might have been the defender at first. As you saw, I think it was Potzloff bumped someone in front of the crease right there. Nonetheless, penalty kill for Frölunda here, and this is a huge, huge moment for them.
Let's see what happens here. One-timer, good kick, saved by Kape. Old school face-off play there. The veteran had it read, pass in front, still in trouble, and Playmaker's able to find it and clear. From 1-0 SAWO, 2-1 for Frölunda, 3-2 for SAWO now. Incredible game so far. Might that next goal come here on the power play? Tambu. Back for Teemu. Jurska right where he wants that puck. Good job by the defense to block it, and SAWO's offside.
Yeah, Tambu unfortunately couldn't quite get to that puck quick enough to keep it onside. There's a good enough chip out by Playmaker, and this face-off reset should benefit Frölunda. If they're able to win it, all the more better as well.
Off the draw, Playmaker able to send that one down. Final 10 seconds to go on this power play, so Frölunda will survive this scare. 13 minutes left in regulation. Flyer Kungen tried to find Eki in front. Sent all the way around. Playmaker going to pressure. One chipped over to the far side. Great play by Tambu. Fortunate the follow-up pass a little bit off the mark. Playmaker now with possession. Spin past that shot. Kick save. Throw him back in front. They score! It was Eki's shot that generated the rebound. Playmaker finds the back of the net. We are tied at 3.
Back and forth, just no quit right there. Initially, I think thrown towards the net by Flyer Kungen. Eki got the secondary opportunity. That was also saved by Nikke. Then it went right to the stick of Playmaker, who sweeps that one in. Not a whole lot that Nikke could do on that. He did all he could, I think, making a couple saves right there. That's got to be cleaned up, but Frölunda would not be denied, and they're the ones who got to the trash first and put it into the back of the net. Tie game now, 3 apiece, and around and around and around we go.
The dirty goals around the net paying off for Frölunda. 9.5 to play in regulation. We saw overtime in game 2. Might we see more here as, again, games 3 and 4 being played in both of our semi-final series Wednesday. We'll see the conclusion of both this and the other matchup between Goons and H-Reds. The winners going on to Helsinki. Our live final that is available for you to attend. We hope to see you there, and I can already say, obviously, Sin, one of these two teams will be very disappointed to not be there. Great chances for both of these offenses. It's a goaltending nightmare.
Absolutely is. I mean, these chances just coming in bunches here. So many close calls, so many shots from dangerous areas, so many rebounds, secondary and tertiary opportunities even here. So these goaltenders really on the edge of their seats.
Walk around the back of the net, cut off by the defense. It's winning time at this stage. Playmaker just can't get that one. Good defense. This one going to be recovered by Moja. Wanted that wraparound, was stifled. Good job here by Yurska again. Back for Moja. His pass off the mark. More precious time off the clock.
We've seen a couple of those from SAWO here down the stretch. Just missed passes here, missed chances for them to keep the pressure on, but they keep getting those zone entries.
On the back, wraparound doesn't go. Kape. You think he's seen that play once or twice before?
Absolutely. Look at the way he played, even kind of overcommitting a little bit, just realizing that that was coming, not wanting there to be any slight gap on that side. And fortunately for him, he was able to get the cover afterwards.
Off the draw, set play. Rebound was there, taken away, though, by Potzloff. SAWO still trying to keep this puck alive. Loimu can't get it out. Could be a crucial turnover. Pass in front again. Potzloff's there to save the day. Final minute of play here in the third period. SAWO really amping up the pressure, trying to keep this puck alive in the O zone, but it goes back. And they'll be forced to reset.
Whole lot of pressure coming out for them. Just absolutely hungry for every loose puck, every single forecheck there, all over Frölunda right now.
Stamu has this one. Again, forced to drop back. Puck dumped into the far side. Timed all by Yurska, but what a chop by Loimu. Sends Frölunda down the other way. Eki for Flyer Kungen. 15 seconds in front. Off the stick. Still alive. Scores! Flyer Kungen with the hat trick. 11 seconds to go. Frölunda grabbed the lead.
I mean, we've said it time and time and time again, but what an off-season pickup for this Frölunda team. It's a spark, he's a flame, he's the fire, he is everything right now for Frölunda. Hat-trick goal with 11 seconds left to give them the lead. What a pivotal moment, the hunger, the tenacity, everything coming out from Frölunda right now. And they have a 1-goal lead here, but they still have to kill off the rest of this time. Good face-off win, good dump in by Plea.
Wonder who's going to win transfer of the season once the voting opens later this week on SportsGamer.gg. Game 3 in the books. How's that for the entertainment factor? Look at the result. 4-3 final. Frölunda grab a 2-1 series lead.
And that is joy, relief, and just absolute jubilation all over the faces of the Frölunda squad. Flyer Kungen even having to step out for a little bit. The adrenaline must be coursing through their veins right now. What a moment for those guys right there. They got down in this game early. They managed to take a 2-1 lead, which was erased almost immediately by a couple quick goals from SAWO. And then in the dying moments after staving off relentless pressure on the forecheck and in the offensive zone from SAWO Esports, they get the puck back into SAWO's end, and who else but Flyer Kungen finding the back of the net in clutch time to give this team the win.
Incredible game to kick off the action of the broadcast. You get a look there at the two lobbies. You also get a look at a fidget spinner. Shout out to 2017. Unbelievable games, and my goodness, I mean, you could not ask for a better back and forth game to kick off a broadcast.
Absolutely, and you're kind of seeing the duality of man between the expressions on the two different sides right there. Again, that was a tough game all the way across, and honestly, an incredibly exciting game as well. This is what Sixes Esports is all about here.
I mean, at that point, you kind of know you're good to go, I guess. Maybe the batteries died right at the end.
Captain? Captain! Take the controls, sir. Captain!
Remind me not to get on a ship with Potsdam.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, men die stranded at sea. The captain takes
Iceberg
a
ahead,
nap.
and Potslav's like, I don't care about that. What do you mean iceberg? I'm gonna keep playing my violin here. Oh
Oh,
boy.
goodness. Incredible end to an incredible game. A Frölunda victory here in game 3. They win 2 games in a row now to grab a 2-1 series lead in this best of 7.
Absolutely. As we get some more looks at these goals here, and it's just in tight. Like that was the story of this game. In tight goals. Again, we called it a goaltender's nightmare, and it absolutely is. Those wrap chances are difficult. Rebounds, those in tight chances. I mean, look at that. It's what a play. And as a goaltender, you can do your best to kind of slide back for that, but you saw him there. The reaction time was as good as it could be, and still manages to find its way into the back. And I think this is that weird bouncing goal. Oh my goodness. He got the glove on it. Unfortunately for him, didn't get the grab on the puck. It bounces across and hits off of the torso of the SAWO skater. And that's what ends up being that what a pass right there by Flyer Coogan to Eki, who got that initial shot off. That's just great use of the one-touch passing right there. And just brilliantly done by Flyer Kungen. And I believe this here is going to be that game winner here. Beautiful pass to the front, deflected. Great defense initially. I believe that was Vatu on the back check. And then Flyer Kungen just hungry for it. And
Whew,
that's an unfortunate animation for Nikkei. I'll say that. That left arm did not want to cooperate.
No, it did not. But when you have a game that's this close between two teams like this, oftentimes it does end up being a goal like that ends up being the difference maker. Heartbreak for SAWO. They will have a chance to even the series up in game 4. We'll get to that right after a brief word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody. We are back. And again, a big thank you to Wilhelm Kovalnakotsi and ST Hockey, as always, in game 3 in the books. What a game it was. For my money, and it might be a recency bias, one of the best playoff games we've had the privilege of covering here in our years now following the ECL. It sets the stage, though, for a very interesting game 4. It's something you and I were talking about, the possibility on Wednesday. I mean, we are either going to see a 2-2 split or a 3-1 split heading into Wednesday when it comes to both of these series. And certainly, a 3-1 deficit for SAWO. Don't know how many people are picking them to win 3 straight on Wednesday, but 2-2, I mean, I view this as a must-win game for them. Really, for either series, if there's a 3-1 heading into Wednesday, I don't really envision it, the other team being able to come back.
Yeah. Unless by some miracle the team with the 3-1 lead is Goons, then I think you can't count out H-Reds to come back. But I'm sure H-Reds have a lot to say about this, as we saw King of Apes got his PS5, and of course that's going to put him over the edge against all his opponents, as he says on Twitter, ever the trash talker and things like that. But yeah, I mean, 3-1 deficit. All these teams are just insanely good, and I think really, like you said, any 3-1 deficit is going to be so hard to come back from. Winning that many games straight is just really tough. You have to essentially win all of them. And it's not quite the reverse sweep, but that's no room for error. And that's not an easy position to be in. I don't care who you are. And we've seen crazy things. We've seen near comebacks. We've seen a 3-1 comeback in the finals be erased and then won. We've seen an almost reverse sweep where I think Havu came down from back 3-0 to force a game 7, but then lost that game 7. I mean, we have seen some crazy things, but
it might have been Frölunda coming back to force 7 and then losing to Havu. Those two had some wild series, okay? It's tough to remember all of them. There were a lot of them. Even in the winter season, a first-round matchup that was a sweep, but again, the closest sweep you will ever see in a competitive stage. Those two have had some wild series. And this one, living up to the hype so far here as well. Every single game through the first 3, 1 goal was the difference maker. Doesn't get any closer than that so far. But again, an incredibly important game here for SAWO Esports. Again, viewing it as essentially a must win heading into the series final, of course, on Wednesday. And like we mentioned, Wednesday's broadcast, we will have the conclusion of not only this series, but of course, H-Reds and Goons, who will play their third and fourth game of their series a little bit later on. Also want to mention, of course, Tuesday, though, our pro division, we will find out the newest team heading into our elite division for our winter season in ECL 23, as the Vecchio Lakers have a 2-1 series lead on Reality Check. Of course, the latter there, Sin, have really been pushing to make it into the elite division for the past couple of seasons. They haven't yet made it, and they'll need a comeback effort tomorrow with King Lime and B Major on the call for the rest of that. Very much looking forward to see who takes over IQ's spot in our elite division starting next season.
Absolutely, and I gotta love the Vecchio Lakers logo, just incredibly well designed with the way the coloration works on the mane and the eyes. That catches my eye every single time. But of course, there's Reality Check, who, as we mentioned, has been vying to will their way into the elite for some time now. And if they don't win this series, they're gonna have to play another one of those relegation matches that makes the road all the more tougher. But that's what it takes to get into the elite. We talk about it all the time. The hardest thing, one of the hardest things to do is to make your way into the ECL Elite. The next hardest thing is to stay in the ECL Elite. And we've seen that route taken by many teams, but also at the same time, many teams have had their cup of tea, and oftentimes we've seen them right back down in the pro division for some more seasoning here. So we'll see what happens. And I mentioned seasoning, and I just got hungry.
Well, I mean, hey, once we're in Finland, we'll just hit up Frölunda and have someone offer us some Wilhelm. It'll be perfect.
That's how it goes. That's if ads are to be believed, which they are, we will, the first time in a sauna, someone will appear and offer us some delicious Wilhelm snacks.
Would anybody lie about that?
No.
We want to see, of course, the best and worst that NHL 22 has had to offer you. Still on Twitter and Instagram, share your clips and use the hashtag eHockeyMoments for your chance to win some IQ Fuel. One winner selected every single week. Again, that's hashtag eHockeyMoments on Twitter and Instagram. As you get a look there, a very brief look at the boys as Game 4 underway. SAWO in the home black uniforms in what is going to be viewed by many as a must-win Game 4. See what happens early on. Flyer Kungen, fresh off of a hat trick performance. And we'll see if he can come anywhere close to replicating that. Again, SAWO need a big-time performance here. Job to win that puck back. Loimu's shot! That one looked rather dangerous. Looked like it just clipped the edge of the blocker, maybe even the stick. One-timer gets through from Loimu again. Great work from the right defenseman up for Frölunda early on.
Absolutely. It almost looked like that Loimu shot went off the knob of the stick of Nike right there. I mean, that was quite interesting to say the least here. So another hectic start, this time in the favor of Frölunda. Now, just want to find that early goal.
Flyer Kungen nearly held on to that puck. Frölunda trying to keep that pressure on. Potzloff into the attacking zone. Double team pressure, but still it's SAWO who come up with it. Just mentioned in chat, Sin, us for a new Wilhelm commercial. I mean, we're kind of viewing this as a work and a vacation trip all in one. But I don't know. I could add a cameo appearance in a commercial to the docket. You know,
absolutely. Put the contract on my desk, and I will absolutely sign that thing. As it looks like an injury occurring. It's a Flyer Kungen there, so he'll have that to deal with for the next 5 or so in-game minutes.
See what happens here on this face-off. Of course, by this point in Game 3, SAWO had already scored their first goal. It's been all Frölunda here so far. A rare slap shot attempt from Playmaker was shut down by Yerska. An offside call against SAWO.
Another interesting stoppage here. So, kind of a flip side of the first period that we experienced in that last game here. Just kind of a lot more stoppages here and a lot less wide open action, and really hard to say who that benefits. This matchup is just so close.
Short side shot, and it's in! SAWO strike first yet again. Kape got a big piece of it, but Yerska just too strong on that one. And it's 1-0.
Absolutely, and that could have easily been the way it went for that Loimu shot earlier, but instead, it's Yerska, as you said, getting that shot on, just overpowering Kape, who I'm sure is not going to be happy about what happened on that one. But nonetheless, Frölunda going to have to play from behind once again here in the first period.
Not the start that Frölunda were looking for. They have shown their ability to play from behind in this series, but great start there for SAWO. Yerska, yet another goal. And he might have, I mean, I don't want to call it luck, because again, you let him get an open shooting lane, odds are it's going to go in. Again, Kape got a big piece of it, but that's just kind of how it happens, as that's a bit of a controversial icing, but as you always say, tie goes to the defender.
Yeah, absolutely. And offensive zone face-off for Frölunda, kind of best case scenario. That was an excellent job by Yerska. Good hustle. He's going to be lacking some stamina here, so we'll see if Frölunda can take advantage of that.
That shot again, Loimu getting very involved. The offensive side early on in this game. SAWO back in possession, already halfway through this first period. And the 1-0 lead for SAWO. No, you're not watching a repeat of last game, although in some senses it kind of feels like it. Tambu here has it. Settle it down for SAWO. Quick out up for Yerska. His shot blocked. Vatu trying to chip it away. Just ran out of running room there. Playmaker for Raki. Knock loose. Tambu there. Sends it around. Smart plays by the SAWO captain here in this first period. Very intrigued to see the result of that new prediction up in chat, by the way. Especially after a goal already being put on the board here for SAWO. Batu over the line. Drops for Teemu. Loose puck. Yerska, good kick save by Kape. One-timer deflects wide off the traffic in front. Loimu, a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, those active sticks from SAWO on all stages of the ice, especially there on the forecheck from behind, really giving Loimu fits, and they've been doing that really all series long, and that's creating a ton of loose puck scenarios in the own end of Frölunda, which is never a good sign. It'll give the defense and, of course, the goaltender fits.
Moving to the attacking zone again. Shut down by the defense. Frölunda started off this first period strong with offensive chances. Couldn't capitalize. SAWO did. And with 1:26 to go, it'll be a face-off in the attacking end for SAWO.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication. Playmaker slid over to the middle, wanting the direct pass. Potzloff hit it off the boards, hoping to hit Playmaker and give him a bit of a zone entry there. Contested, but ended up not working.
One-timer, rebound was there, bouncing around. Good save by Kape, and trouble there. Poor Potzloff forces the cover from his netminder.
Big saves coming out right now, and it almost feels like a bit of survival mode for Frölunda at the tail end of this period. SAWO pressing hard for that second goal.
Corner here, Moja back for Teemu. Final 7 seconds. Frölunda maybe one more chance to get something going. Here's Eki. The spin, shoveled in front. SAWO will hold on. 1-0 for SAWO after 20 minutes, and just like we saw in Game 3.
And Yerska with the opening goal, and just a great job by him, creating a little bit of space for himself. Good position coming out from Kopova, just a hard enough shot to kind of beat him on that blocker side. We talk about this is kind of a nightmarish day for the goaltenders, just the way the chances are coming, and the way pucks are bouncing off them, either creating rebounds or going in the back of the net. I'd say that luck for the goaltenders is continuing here. So, both teams sort of recognizing that, understanding that they're going to have to keep putting up that offense here. It's going to be a rough day to be attendee. We'll see what Frölunda's response is going to be in the second period. They've been pretty good about it. They've been able to push back continuously. I like the adjustments that they've been making. In that first day, it was very much looking for the higher kind of danger chances. But in this one, they're not afraid to get those gritty kind of goals, the blue-collar opportunities, shots from odd angles, doesn't matter. They're going to test Nike. They're going to get pucks to those scoring areas, even if they don't get clean looks at them. We saw Flyer Kungen just being an absolute vacuum around the front of the net, finding those loose pucks and depositing him into the 4x6 opening. We'll see what they do here in this second period. SAWO still up 1-0.
Opportunity there for Playmaker. Sends it around the back. Again, ECL Elite Division action brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Kobel Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. This is Game 4 of our semifinal. You see in the top right-hand corner of your screen a 2-1 Frölunda lead We will see the conclusion of this series on Wednesday, regardless of how many games it takes. Of course, a little bit later on in this broadcast, we will have the other semifinal matchup. Our number 1 seed and 2-time defending champions in H-Reds taking on the 5th seed in Goons. Also a 1-1 split in that series, as that one was close. EK able to keep it out. We'll go all the way back. Of course, in all of this again leading towards our live in-person final, June 17th and 18th in Helsinki. An attendable event as well for any of you nearby. Come get your picture taken with Sin, just $10 a pop. Is that one off the post? And Tamer trying to carry it down the other way here for SAWO. Batu a bit of space over for Yerska. Wanted to go back. That short side. Good defense there by Frölunda. Playmaker somehow still has this puck. And still around the back of the net, fighting for it until Moshe takes it away. Yerska again here for SAWO. Goes all the way back out of the zone.
Period really opening up here. A lot of back and forth action. Still kind of my head spinning over how Playmaker was able to keep possession of that puck for so long, just being absolutely hounded by Tombu and Temu back there.
This one back to the neutral zone. And an offside call here. Already just about halfway through this period.
It's kind of flown by, very kind of opposite to a lot of bits in that first period. We saw a few more whistles than we're normally accustomed to, especially given the pace set by that first game here. But it's starting to kind of open things up, and see if Frölunda are going to be able to capitalize. But they're starting to get those chances. They're starting to find some rebounds. We've seen some close calls here, and they're back in the zone.
Opportunity on the short side for Eki. Good save there by Nike, though. Keeping Frölunda off the board for now.
Yeah, it felt like that could have slid in right there, just kind of banked off the pad and gone in. However, Nike in good enough position to keep that one out of the back of the net. But these close calls, eventually something's got to give, as we're seeing a pause coming out here.
We'll see if it's a normal timeout or if there are connection issues. Doesn't look like either side's all that worried, so might just be your standard pause.
Yeah, maybe just a cheeky little pause coming out from Eki. Maybe he's just psyching him out. Little freeze off happening.
Absolutely. As again, you just kind of get a look at the body language here. Frölunda's still looking, pretty loose, pretty confident. I mean, always a stoic appearance for Potzloff and Kape, more so than the rest of the boys on the team. This one is sent down low. Vatu and SAWO getting things going here. 8 minutes now in the period. Mo's just shot. Doesn't find a way through. Frölunda still looking for their first goal of the game. And it was a 3-2 lead for SAWO at the end of 40 minutes in the last game, but still just one goal on the board here.
And definitely not from lack of trying from both of these squads here, continuing to kind of give the goaltenders mini heart attacks with these in-tight chances. Those are just so scary to have to deal with, and be able to move quickly back and forth and keep moving laterally like that can really work you out of position. Great block by Frölunda. Unfortunately misses Playmaker on that sauce pass across, but what a few turnover.
In backhand shovel there by Playmaker. Nike again able to make the save. Seems to have figured out that glove side issue.
Absolutely. That's just insane reaction time from Frölunda. Now, he intercepts it on the blue line and still one touches it to keep that alive.
Go down the other way here. Good pressure. Potzloff able to hold on to it. Still looking for that next goal. There is to be one. Playmaker has it. Let's go around the back. Takes the hit. Can't make the play. 3.5 minutes now in this second period of Game 4. SAWO trying to tie this series up. Heading into the deciding games on Wednesday. Good save there by Kape off the chance from Batu. 2 minutes to go now in this second period. Here is Flyer Kungan, fresh off of a hat trick in the last game. Tried to get it back to the short side and just ran out of space.
Frölunda's really been targeting that short side here in the second period, whether it's, those quick shots. We saw it, the fake going around the neck, the pass back to Eki, who tried to slide in on that short side. You saw, Flyer Kunken going for right there too.
The draw, Frölunda in control. Playmaker has it. Tries to go in front. SAWO, a heavy collapse. Flyer Kunken shot. Good block by Hambu there. Captain, great performance so far for SAWO. Final moments of the second period. Playmaker can't get that pass in front. And Moja will kill the clock. SAWO doing what they couldn't do in game 3. Holding on to the lead heading into the third period.
Absolutely, just a slim 1-0 marker, but they're pretty accustomed to playing those kind of games, with their kind of collapse-heavy style. They're, definitely comfortable defending that and trying to get their counterattack pressure. That's kind of been their bread and butter for a lot of the season, especially was in that series against Havu there, where, they're really their best games, those games, I guess it was 5 and 6 where they closed out the series. They were in that bend don't break mentality. They allowed, Havu to kind of control the pace of, well, not the pace of play so much, but just control the puck in their own end right there and just continue to box them out to the outside. Havu, we know they're not really keen on taking a lot of those perimeter shots. Frölunda maybe a bit more willing to do that, as we've seen here, and get some of those gritty blue collar goals. So but yeah, that's kind of been the SAWO style, very bend don't break sort of mentality at times, and they've been able to close games out like that really for 2 seasons. So that's kind of seeming to be their bread and butter, what they kind of turn to in these clutch moments. So if we see that here in this third period, that heavy collapse to continue, maybe a very hard blue line stand and trying to force those turnovers when you pass back to the point.
The shot on there, stopped again by Nike. Frölunda definitely showing more of a willingness to throw pucks on goal just to see what happens, especially with how that first goal made it past Kape. A lot of the blocker side still found its way in for Jurska back in the first period. Good bit of passing there for SAWO to get this puck out. Pass broken up, Eki with patience. Now the attacking zone again, it's Playmaker. Immediately hounded Flyer Kungen as well. Just couldn't find any space. Great layers in defense here. D-to-D one-timer. Loose puck in front. Just taken away by Moja.
Really good job by SAWO right now to keep those secondary opportunities for going, but what a counterattack coming from Frölunda now.
He sends it around the back. Tombu has trouble. Able to survive the pressure from Eki. Jurska now. Then finds Tombu at the point. Just go right back down to him. Good pressure by Frölunda. Vatu's there to pick it up. Loose puck continues to bounce around. Nervous moments there for Frölunda, but they have it now. Across the way for Loimu. And the defensive SAWO standing strong.
Yeah, just that middle of the ice, there's really not a whole lot of space there. Even on the rushes right there, it's just SAWO so good at patrolling that middle of the ice and forcing it away.
Going down in the corner around the back, it's Playmaker. Wanted that wraparound. Puck loose. Still fighting for it behind the goal line. Now in the corner, it's Eki for Playmaker. Tries to bank it in front. Flyer Kungen. Again back to Eki. Good movement here. They go all the way back to the point. Loimu shot deflects. I think it ended up just wide. Playmaker. One-timer off the post for Potzloff. So close yet so far as we're over the halfway point of this third period.
Huge pressure coming out from Frölunda, but the clock is their biggest enemy. They're simply running out of time here.
Moja, Jurska's short side. Does it go? And it's an own goal! Potzloff gets tied up with his netminder. SAWO up 2-0 late in the third period.
That's about as unfortunate as it gets. You have all that time on attack in the other end, all those chances, a chance off the post, and just one rush going the other way. You get possession of it, unfortunately get tied up with your goaltender, and it's in the back of the net. Frölunda can get 2 in this amount of time, but this is a tough task against this SAWO defense.
I believe Jurska gets credited with the second goal of the game off of that. And might that be just what the doctor ordered for SAWO? A 2-2 series split on the horizon, and that pass going to go all the way back to the neutral zone. Still got a long way to go in this one. Here comes Jurska, though. One more goal would certainly put it out of reach. Good pick off there by Eki. Not too many teams can keep Frölunda off the board. SAWO's done an excellent job through 55 minutes. Can Frölunda find this comeback? Delayed offside will kill more time off the clock. Great patience by SAWO. Take advantage of the time given. It's Eki over the line. They need shots. They need them fast. Flyer Kungen won an effort. But Nike's there to make the save.
Huge save from Nike right there. The individual effort from Flyer Kungen with that else getting to maneuver his way to that slot, and a massive save coming out from Nike. Aggressive face-off. I think we'll see that from here on out for Frölunda.
Off the draw. Contested. Flyer Kungen. One-timer. They score. They tried it earlier. He hit the post. Captain Potzloff delivers, and it's a one-goal game.
Still time. They still have that last minute of real time to work now, and if you're SAWO, you got to watch your sticks. Taking a penalty at this stage would be massively detrimental, especially, as we said, with that real time last minute. That's one step back. Frölunda still needs one more to tie it, but they're feeling it. They got a little bit of juice from that one. Still over 2 minutes here.
This one towards goal and off the blocker of Nike. Keeping him honest. Great pass for Yerska. 1:30 on the clock. Eki over the line. Playmaker with him. Throws it in front. Now has it behind the goal line. Goes to the point for Eki. Potzloff looking. Flyer Kungen down low for Playmaker. Playmaker trying to weave. What a pass attempt in front off the spin move. Batu can't clear. It's Flyer Kungen. Sauced in front. Loimu's shot doesn't ultimately get to where he wanted it. Eki keeps it in, at least momentarily, and again he regains it. 34 to go. Huge hit down low. Bouncing puck. Kept alive. Playmaker looking broken up as he tried to throw it in front. Down low again. What pressure from Frölunda. Playmaker has it. Loimu at the point. Potzloff tried to go back to him. Yerska was there. Puck dumped into the far side. One more rush for Frölunda after that mistake by Potzloff. Puck down low. Flyer Kungen has it. In front. Can't get the shot off. And SAWO will tie the series up at 2 apiece. And breathe.
What a game. What a series between these two teams right here, as SAWO are able to hold on and survive against that relentless assault coming out from Frölunda. Their active steps continuing to keep that puck in, continuing to stop the breakout of SAWO there. Incredible aggression, incredible execution, but unfortunately for Frölunda, at the end of the day, it simply wasn't quite enough. And SAWO Esports were able to tie this series right back up. 2 games apiece. Back and forth, back and forth. Now the game's gone, the series is gone, and my goodness, this one could be going the distance all the way to 7. We'll have to wait till Wednesday to find out, but you got to think the viewers, us, everyone involved will be a little bit robbed if this one doesn't go all the way to 7. Just what a series, what a performance between these two teams, and you're going to have to take a couple minutes to kind of shake the sweat off of your hands after that one.
So close, yet so far for Frölunda. Too little, too late. And as a result, SAWO, 2 goals on 6 shots, gets the job done. And again, now it's a best of 3 between these two teams heading into Wednesday. As you get a look there at the unfortunate failure of a pickup that Frölunda, very much focusing on. He just couldn't come up with that puck.
Yeah, it goes off the skate first. That was excellent positioning from Loimu, especially with that handedness too. You're not going to quite get the one-timer. You can take a quick snap, and sometimes that's more beneficial than the one-timer because, especially in that tight, the goaltender is going to be adjusting laterally to that movement. We're seeing just an unfortunate day for Kappe in the office. That goal right there, good position, just kind of goes off. And then, of course, this one right here, another kind of unfortunate pickup animation off his kicks it to his, from his skate to his stick. And unfortunately, his stick was right all tied up with Kappe there. And that's just how it goes sometimes. That was a beautiful play. Really, really in deep was Potzloff there for that one time. And unfortunately, that was the only one that they could get. They couldn't find that last minute goal, but you saw how hard that they were pushing for that. And again, games this close, oftentimes they can come down to bounces, and you look at those the goals that went in on Frölunda, and you can characterize at least one of those as a bounce, and that's what happens when you're this evenly matched in this kind of a game, and when it goes into a series like this, a possible 7 games, that's really kind of magnified here. And these two teams, man, just an unreal series.
Every single game decided by 1 goal through the first 4 games of this series. And would you believe those are only the first 2 games we have for you on this broadcast? After a brief intermission, we'll throw it over to our other semifinal. Also entering play today as a 1-1 split. It is our number 1 seed in H-Reds taking on number 5 Goons. We'll have that for you in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.